17 SMMA clients in only 5 days. Here are 6 exact steps that I took to do it, and here's how you can too. Number 1, I had multiple streams to generate meetings and therefore clients. I think in the beginning when you first start out, it is really important to master one outreach method and one source of getting clients. However, once you've mastered that one source, it's really important to start to diversify your outreach. At the end of the day, if you only rely on one way to get clients and for some reason that stops overnight, you've stopped the growth of your business. So it's really, really important to diversify once you've got that one working outreach system. So for example, let's break down these 17 clients. I didn't just get 17 clients from one outreach method. I got 4 from this outreach method. I got 10 from this outreach method, 1 from this one from that one. And before you knew it, I was at 17 clients for the week. Now, just some insight on how we actually got our clients. We used Upwork.com. We had referrals, upsells, and then some coming from this YouTube channel. So if you think about it, if you broke it down in that situation to say 4 came from each, getting 4 clients in a week, don't get me wrong, is still impressive. But now all of a sudden, because you've got 4 outreach methods, you've just 4 times the amount of new clients you've got. Saying that though, if you're a complete beginner and you are just starting out, it's going to be really important to make sure you master one outreach method to start with, okay? Really important. If you haven't got any proof of results yet, you're not even getting responses or booking meeting, don't spread yourself too thin. Let's say you start with Upwork, focus on getting responses, then focus on getting booked meetings, then focus on closing clients. Once you've got that system to a point where you can predictably get customers, that's when you want to look to add a secondary source and just do it one at a time. You know, I've been running an agency now for over 5 years. It wasn't an overnight thing where I had a ton of different outreach methods and ways to get clients, but just have it at the top of your mind. When you start to get results, double up and your results will compound. The second thing that was really, really important is that we have unbelievable results here in our agency. You know, like I said, we've been in business for 5 years. My media buyers are highly, highly trained. We've spent tens of thousands of pounds on self-development for our team. We've also worked with some amazing household brands, celebrities, influencers, and that's enabled us to get some really fantastic results for our clients. And getting fantastic results is just social proof. You know, think about it. When a client buys marketing services, what do they buy? Well, they don't really buy the marketing service. They buy the outcome that that marketing service will provide. So for the most part, that's going to be new customers, new leads, and ultimately results. If you're showcasing results to a client and showcasing what they can do, that's basically showing them, hey, look, here are amazing results we got for another customer just like you. That's social proof, and that's going to actually be the thing that makes people buy from you over your competition. Because remember, key point here, people buy an outcome, not a thing. Fully understand, you know, in the beginning, it's so difficult to get clients when you are just starting out and having no results. But if that is something that interests you, we actually have a brand new case studies to leverage service where you can actually purchase case studies from us and our team. Now, obviously there are a few caveats to this. To make it completely ethical, you do have to use our white label service as well. But if that is something that interests you, you want to find out information on how you can go from 0 to hero with your results, increase your response rate and close more clients off the back of it, check out the case study to leverage service in the description below. Number 3, it's going to be really important to have the infrastructure. I'm fortunate enough over the last few years, I've been building an in-house team. I've got a lot of resources. So we were actually in a position where we can increase lead flow and therefore we don't have to turn away clients or turn off the tap because we have the infrastructure. So if you want to scale aggressively, you know, think about it, like people I think oftentimes overcomplicate it. If you know you get a 10% response rate, you then get a 10% book rate or whatever it is, and you can predictably say every 270 outreach I do, I get a client. Well, it really is as simple as putting more on the top. If you want to get a client a day, cool. You want to be hitting 270 outreach per day, for example. When you get to the stage where you can be more predictable, you really can ramp up. Where people fall short though is they don't have the infrastructure in place to be able to take on those clients. So it's almost like a stop tap, on, off, and that really does halt growth over time. So what I highly recommend, a big tip for anybody out there who works with contractors or freelancers, is to make sure you do constant outreach for team members the same way that you do constant outreach to businesses. So that way, if tomorrow you landed 10 clients, you've got some contractors, freelancers, or people that you can call on to come in and help you fulfill the work. Because if you don't have somebody to help fulfill the work, your standard will massively drop and then you'll just end up losing clients. And one of the big ways that you're going to halt your growth as a business is if you just churn through every new client that you get. So retention is going to be a key part of this, but you can only retain clients if your service is there, and you can only do that if you've got the infrastructure. So whilst 17 clients in a week might seem like a lot for most people, just remember we've actually got an in-house team of 16, and then we've got a handful of online contractors and subcontractors that work for us as well. So ultimately we were in a position where we could intake 17 clients, and that's really important to understand. So the fourth thing that allowed us to land 17 clients in 5 days was just the amount of optimization and improvement that we've done in our outreach and our outreach figures and our sales process over the last few years. You know, when you just start out, you might get a 1% response rate, 2% response rate, you might have a 10% book rate, for calls, you might have a 20% show up rate for meetings, you might have a 10% close rate. Ultimately, if you just improve and focus on improving those stats month on month in all areas of the sales process, from response rate to book rate to show up rate and close rate, you constantly focus on improving those stats even 1% per month in all of those areas. By the end of the year, you're just going to absolutely transform the amount of revenue you generate for your business. So some key actionable takeaways for you here. Number one, first of all, you can't improve what you don't measure or track. So first of all, you want to make sure for each outreach method that you do, for each platform, you track the following KPIs. You want to track how many outreach you're doing per platform. You want to track how many responses you get per platform. You want to track how many of those book calls, how many of those book calls actually show up, and out of that, how many deals you actually close. Because then rather than saying, I'm doing outreach and cold email doesn't work, or I've tried Upwork and it doesn't work, well, you can look at that full sales process and look at, right, okay, well, I've been doing Upwork outreach, I've been getting responses, I've been booking meetings, but actually nobody's showing up. Well, I might need to send out some reminders, I might need to set up text and email reminders to improve that book rate. I might need to nurture them a bit more and send them some results. You can then make decisions based off of data rather than just saying, oh, I'm not closing clients with Upwork. You know, you can look at your full sales process, you can see where those areas are for improvement, and then you can focus on improving them. And if you do that over a long enough time horizon, you're going to absolutely skyrocket the amount of revenue you generate as a business. Just some real basic stats for you. If before it took you 200 outreach to get one client, and then over the improvements and over the years, that's now 70 outreach to get one client, all of a sudden you're closing 3 times as many clients off the same amount of outreach. So you do the maths on that, you've just tripled the amount of revenue you generate for your business. So the fifth thing, and this is so goddamn important, so pay attention, we have a CRM and we nurture and follow up with all of our leads on a regular, consistent basis. So if you don't know what a CRM is a customer relationship management tool. You can use something like HubSpot. We internally use Pipedrive. Now what this does is it allows you to track all of your leads, all of your potential customers and all of your customers, the deals that are currently on the table and where they are in the current sales pipeline. And what I really like about a CRM, if you get the right one like Pipedrive, is you can actually sort of gamify your sales approach. And if you want it, let me know in the comments, but I can make an advanced tutorial on how we use Pipedrive in our agency to make sure we nurture and follow up with all our leads. But on a real basic level, we make sure that every single lead inside of our CRM has an activity attached to it to either follow up, to try and upsell on another service, or whatever it may be. So use a CRM, track where all of your leads are in the sales cycle, what part of the pipeline they're at, and make sure you follow up heavily with all of your prospects. We've had situations before where we followed up once a month with a prospect that went quiet 8 months ago, then 8 months later they come out of the woodwork and all of a sudden they've booked a discovery call and they become a client. If we weren't regularly following them up, nurturing them, staying in contact, guess what? They may never have moved forward. Sometimes it's just right place, right time. And if you're the person that's constantly there following up, at least until you get a no, if you get a response to say, hey, screw off, we don't want this, we're not interested, cool, don't follow that up. If they don't say that to you, it's fair game. A little bonus tip here as well, follow them up with a pronged approach. If you hit them on Upwork and you don't get a response, email them, call them, send them a DM on Instagram. It may just be that they're not replying because they've not even seen your message. So the sixth thing that we did, which is really, really important, and a handful of the clients that actually came in that week came from this, and that is upselling current customers. So there's a couple of things to this. First of all, in order to upsell current customers onto additional services, you need to first be able to offer additional services that those clients need that are in line with your current customer database. So, you know, as an agency right now, Facebook ads is our main service, but we do also offer TikTok ads, Google ads, social media management, and things of that nature. And obviously, like we said, what a client buys from us isn't Facebook ads. They buy the outcome, which is increased revenue, increased customers. So, you know, a lot of the time we get fantastic results for our clients with Facebook ads. And guess what? It's as simple as a little message to the client, say, hey, we think we can get you continue improved results by implementing Google ads into your marketing strategy. Do you want us to do an audit? Do you want to jump on a call and discuss it? And doing that, it's a million times easier of a sell than going back out, doing a cold email, cold approach, getting the responses, book rate, show ups, all of this stuff. You've got a relationship, you're getting the results, and you're a message away from upselling your clients on to potentially doubling your retainer. And if you can upsell onto multiple services, maybe even tripling or quadrupling your retainer. So the sort of key tip here is if you can offer additional services and they're relevant to you and you can do it easily, I think it makes sense. It's a really great way to increase revenue. But the simple tip is, which nobody does, if you know you can get better results for your clients by adding a service, you're doing them a disservice by not reaching out to them and mentioning it to them. A very simple message, hey John, we've been crushing it with Facebook ads. I think we could do even more fantastic over on Google. Do you want us to do a free audit for you to take a look? Let me know if you're open to the idea. Or another way you could position it is, hey John, are you free tomorrow? I've got an idea on how we can increase revenue further. Let me know. Boom, you jump on a call, you pitch Google, and there you have it. You've just upsold a customer without all the faff. And ultimately, the best way you're going to increase revenue revenue further is by tapping into those current customers. So don't underestimate the power of an upsell. And on a final note, look, I really know the struggle when you're first getting started. You know, just a quick story. I actually had a meeting yesterday with my accountant. Just for some context, my accountant's been with me since day one. And when I deal with my accountant now, the accountancy firm's grown a bunch. I deal with the team members. When I first joined the accountancy firm, I actually dealt directly with the business owner himself. And I had a meeting yesterday with the owner again, and we haven't spoken in a few years. And he reminded me of a little story. He said to me, Brad, I remember 5 years ago when you first started to work with me, we struggled to even book in a meeting because you didn't even have a car. You've come a long way since then. It allowed me to sort of reminisce, you know, every day to day sort of blends into each other. But here we are 5 years later, 100 plus clients, work with Fortune 500 companies. We work with influencers, some of the world's biggest celebrities. We're an in-house team of 16. We've got premises. And now we do seem to just get clients on autopilot because we figured it out. But I remember it allowed me to reminisce what it was like in those early days, and the struggle was real. Getting those very first few clients without any kind of results was difficult. It was a nightmare. So if you're sick and tired of losing out on clients because you have no response to questions like, have you got any results to show, or what kind of clients have you worked with? If you want to overcome that, you want to sort of J-curve your success, skip a few steps and skip that struggle, be sure to check out the case studies to leverage service in the description down below. It's such a valuable service. I don't know how long I'm going to be doing this for. So if you are interested, execute now whilst you have the chance. But if you did enjoy this video, here's another video here on how we landed 10 clients in just 72 hours. And then make sure to click here to subscribe.